Hey, what's up, people? It is Reaper here, and today we're going to be talking about the new Last of Us series that just started airing on HBO Max as an original. Now, so far, everything I kind of predicted from the trailer is coming true. This is actually an amazing adaptation, and they're doing really, really great stuff with it. So, first and foremost, I just wanted to say that this is probably the best video game adaptation I've ever seen. I can't think of anything that comes as close to being as good as this. And even though we're only 2 episodes in, I think it's safe to say that the rest of the show is just going to keep being banger episode after banger episode. And the fact that they brought in Neil Druckmann as an executive producer is just amazing. He came up with the idea of The Last of Us, and he works for Naughty Dog, and he's kind of the main head of the Last of Us projects, part 1 and 2. So to have him as an executive producer is just a great decision, and I think it's probably where most other adaptations fail, is they don't talk to the creator enough. For instance, the Percy Jackson movies that they adapted from the books weren't so great, and it's because they went away from the author's vision. And Disney Plus has actually greenlit a project with a future Percy Jackson series, and they're working very closely with Rick Riordan. I think I'm saying that right. So I can't wait for that, and when that comes out, I'll probably cover it here. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. So far, everybody that they've introduced, casting-wise, has just been amazing. Pedro Pascal as Joel kills the role. Bella Ramsey is her name, as Ellie. She really brings the energy of the character to life. For Marlene, they even brought the voice actress from the game. And apparently there's going to be 2 other voice actors they brought in. I forgot what all of them were. I think Ellie, Ashley Johnson, is going to be coming into the show, probably as just like a little cameo somewhere. And then the voice actor for Tommy is also going to make an appearance. The thing I probably like most about this show is it keeps the fear and the emotion intact. It brings everything that was in the game and they bring it right to the show. They didn't leave anything out. They made everything super perfect, and I really hope that just continues for the show's run. As for the sets of the show, it literally looks like they took the game and just pulled it straight from there. I mean, it is literally like one for one. Looks exactly the same way. The beginning town where you're driving your truck through looks exactly the same. The towers, the one that kind of crashed into the other one, looks exactly the same. And I really hope they just keep that with everything, because the game sets were so greatly designed. So I really hope they just continue that the rest of the show. One thing that I thought I would never say is that they actually did something in the show better than the game, and that was Sarah's death. It was way more emotional in the show. You spent more time with Sarah, so there was a little more character development. And it was just so sad at the same time as being so great, but in a way that it's great because it's so emotion filled and sad. Another change that I like from the game to the show is they removed the whole spore aspect. I always thought that was kind of stupid in the game, because in real life spores are microscopic and they would be going everywhere, so nobody would ever stand a chance. If you weren't wearing a gas mask 100% of the time, you would be dead. So I'm glad that they removed that, because it wouldn't have worked well for the show, and I've always thought it was a silly concept in general. So also, I really like how they're spending time and going through additional backstory. In the first 2 episodes, they had an interviewer kind of talking about how the cordyceps works and like why it's able to infect humans now. They even related it to climate change, which I thought was kind of cool. And then in the second episode, they kind of show you a different country, which is cool, because I don't think they've ever showed that in either of the 2 games of what's going on outside of America. And they go to a fungus expert who realizes that the world's about to end, and they kind of tell you that she told the government that bombs need to happen, which in the game I believe they kind of touched on the bombings, but they never really went in depth of why or how. And with future episodes, I'm sure that they'll go even more into the backstory. The other thing that the show absolutely nailed is the fact that the infected look gross. They look absolutely disgusting, and I love that. The clickers are literally like brought from the game into reality, and they look even worse on the live screen than they do in the game. It is crazy. Now, obviously the show is a hit, but there are some slight details that I don't like about it that I want to go into next. The first thing I want to talk about is kind of the schedule of the show. So there's only going to be 9 episodes in the first season, and we're already 2 deep. And so far, they haven't even made it to Bill yet. So I'm kind of concerned as to the pacing of the show. So there's 2 reasons it could be bad. One is they split it into 2 seasons, the first game being 2 seasons long, which I would prefer if they did that, but that means that there's going to be a really long wait time between seasons 1 and 2, most likely. maybe 1, maybe even 2 years. And when you break a story like that, like right in the middle where there's no proper ending, I feel like that's not the best thing to do. And the other route that they could go is condense the entire first game into one season. And being that we're already 2 episodes in and they haven't even met Bill yet, means that the pacing for the rest of the game would be really rushed because there's only 7 episodes left to work with. So I don't know which one I'd prefer, but I don't really like that they did it this way. So yeah, it's just my kind of 2 cents on it. Also, I'm really not a fan of like how the tendrils like come out of the infected's mouth. The fact that it can like move on its own is kind of silly, and it just looks gross, which I guess is kind of cool because it's more scary that way. But it kind of makes you think like, then how much weight does like a bite hold? And I don't know. It's just I don't like that they did that, but they kind of used it in replacement of the spore, so I kind of get it. But the aspect of it that I do like is the fact that the infected can communicate with each other over long distances through like the tendrils going underground. They kind of explain this in one of the after parts of the second episode, but I like the communication aspect. I just don't like visually how it looks. It just looks silly, and I'm not a huge fan of it. But with that being said, I'm going to end the video here. If you guys like the video, please hit the like button as it truly does help my channel grow. If you want to see more from me in the future, hit the subscribe button. And let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think of The Last of Us show so far? Did you play the game? Are you happy with the adaptation? Let me know what you guys think. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.